Okay guys, today's video is going to be on a dual M150 vehicular repeater setup where what happens is we have a VHF mobile and a VHF portable, and when you get out of the vehicle you can hear the repeater on the portable just fine, but it's really hard getting back into the repeater using the portable's transmit. So what this setup does is it allows the portable to go through a receiver in the vehicle, then use the vehicle's mobile radio to transmit to the repeater, giving the portable a boost, essentially. This is #1 request from my users, and they are just kind of plagued by this problem. Although they're not really supposed to be using their portables on the repeaters, they all do, and there's no real change in that. So this was my solution to give them an ability to transmit clearly when they are on the HTs. Just to go over real quick what the hardware pieces, I have the VRS radio above the main radio and the portable there. I'll go ahead and turn on the VRS radio, and I'm using the mobile underneath it to be the power control for it. And on the VRS radio itself, I'll show you we have 10 dB attenuator coming into the back. This is my shorted halfway stub tuned to the main transmit frequency of the radio, and then we have the antenna for the VRS, and that is a portable antenna that I have mounted on the door here. My main antenna is up at the top, and I want to put metal in between my VRS antenna and my main broadcast to help it out, because that's the #1 problem anytime you're trying to do in-band repeating, is the receiver getting blown out by the transmit of the other radio. So we're using the portable antenna on a shielded location, in addition to the shorted half-wave stub, to give us a total of and the 10 dB attenuator to give us a total of 38 dB attenuation on the main signal coming into the VRS. And that totally calms it out and allows it to not get its front end overloaded and to work. So, and this, like I said, this little booster here gives us a good mile or two bubble around where we can clearly transmit using the portable on the repeater transmit on the repeater channel. So just so you can see how it works, so when I transmit on the portable here, I'll be going into the receiver here. The receive indicate on this will control the transmit push to talk on the bottom one, and then the audio will come out of this one back into this one. And it's just your straightforward one way out transmission. Found from the users that they didn't they really didn't need a full two-way link, that for the most part they could hear the repeater just fine on the portable. It was just getting out was their main trouble. So here's the basic setup. Now I'll go on into the schematic here and get the details on how exactly it's connected. So stand by. Okay, let's take a look at the circuit and see how this thing works. It's all based around your HT here, and remember your HT is going to be listening directly to the main repeater, and it's going to be transmitting to the VRS receiver to be replayed on the main radio at full power. So it's basically getting a transmit power boost, although it is coming in on a different frequency than what goes out on the main one. We're taking advantage of our inherent 8 meg split on our repeaters. So when I'm transmitting 159 on my portable, I'll be transmitting 151 on my mobile. So that'll help out my receiver here that has to simultaneously listen to the 159 signal, but also ignore the 151 signal coming in. So because the mobile here is a 100-watt mobile, it blasts out a huge amount of power when it transmits, and any antenna around is going to get overwhelmed, is going to get a very, very strong signal. So if you don't do something to attenuate that signal, it'll just completely desense and overload your front end on your receiver here. So what I'm using is a super cheap $5 little shorted halfway stub, which is basically just like a little more than 2 feet of RG58 with a short on it, and it filters out the main signal by like 28 dB, and then I have another 10 dB overall attenuator as well. So we get a total reduction of 38 dB at this point coming into the receiver, which is like 1/5000th of the power of what is coming out. So with a signal reduced by that much, now the receiver can operate properly, and you won't have issues with selectivity and having desense problems on your intended target receive. Yeah, so this car repeater deal is basically going to create a bubble around the vehicle. I did the math here to show you just what you would expect at a 1 mile range. So we had a 1 watt, and the portable can actually go a high power, but it effectively would put out 1 watt at a quarter wave mobile, just for testing things. So we did plus 30. The free space path loss is minus 80. Total attenuation on the signal on the intended portable signal is 8 dB from the half wave stub, and then you get another 10 dB from our attenuator here. Plus the rubber duck antenna is not quite up to quarter wave mobile performance, so I'll give it an overall 20 dB loss for the antenna system here. So that gives us an expected signal level about minus 70, which is quite clear, quite usable. And like I said, that's at 1 mile radius, which should be more than enough for what they do. So that's the basic function of it. Now here on your receiver, I'm using the full-blown fancy dual M150, but this VRS receiver here could be almost anything from a scanner up. So the only thing that you need is just audio out and some way to get a logical receive activity indication, even if you had to create your own little Vox circuit. But the other thing to note is that you want to make sure that for each one of these that you have installed, that they have a unique PL or NAC, so that you don't accidentally have someone keying up some other distant repeater. And so one car per channel here on the portable. So it would be car number 1 would be one frequency, car number 2 would be another channel, each having its own specific transmit PL or NAC to get into the VRS receiver here. The audio output on this one is straightforward. It needs a 600 ohm load, and the microphone input for the main radio here is a high impedance op amp circuit, and I just found using potentiometers and testing here that 33K gives you the unity receive, so that if you're deviating 1.5 kilohertz on your test receiver here, on your VRS receiver, it'll transmit 1.5 and it'll be it'll track going across. The push-to-talk, once again, this is just an active indication. I have a program for active low for receive activity, which then gives me a push-to-talk over here. This setup here in the middle with the ignition sense and the auxiliary button just allows me to turn the VRS receiver on with a button on my main radio, so I don't have to get back in the back and physically touch the VRS radio. And also it ensures that the VRS radio cannot be on unless the main radio is on. So you don't have to worry about it being left on and then killing your battery or something like that. So that's what this little circuitry is for, is to just control the on-off function of the VRS radio. But so once again, to go over through it, the portable will transmit on 159.2. I'll give it, I just said .2 to show you need to be a couple hundred kilohertz away from your main repeater here, just so you don't cause local aggravation in case there are people listening to the main channel anywhere close to you. But we transmit on the portable, come in on our VRS, audio comes out, goes into the main radio, and is transmitted out to the repeater. So this is your one-way portable repeater channel booster, and yeah, like I said, this is the only thing that's actually gotten any excitement from the users out there. They're really clamoring for something like this. So anyway, hope this helps, and we'll talk to you soon. And I'm going to do another video, by the way, that addresses the shorted stub here, how to make them and test them, and the theory behind them. So stand by for that as well. But we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.